Hey guys, George Palaio, coaching entrepreneurs for the last 19 years. There's mistakes that people make that I want to share with you. Hopefully this can help some of you guys avoid making them. Number one, low standards. One of the biggest challenges when people, whether it's an employee or an independent contractor, salesperson, is that some people just have really low standards on the way that they do things for themselves. And what I've seen is how a person does something is how they do everything, right? So when you notice that a person has low standards and you're hiring that person or you're training that person, identifying that is an issue and how to help them raise their standards, it's a lot of work there, right? I would tell you're better off finding somebody that has higher standards and wants to be developed, because high standard people want to raise standards. Low standard people typically don't want to be challenged, right? But some are open to it, right? So number two ties into number two, no accountability, right? Sometimes when people have low standards, they don't want to be held to a high standard. They don't want to be pushed. They don't want to be held accountable. They don't want to be held accountable to follow through or keep their word. It's like, hey man, I really, I was trying to do that. And the coach is like, well, you said you were going to do that. Well, I tried to do that, right? Sometimes low standard people use the word try a lot. That was something I used to say a lot when I was 19 years old. I'm going to try to do this versus I'm going to do this. And I remember being held accountable, and it was tough at first, right? Because I didn't come from a background of coaching. Sometimes athletes do really well as entrepreneurs because they're used to accountability. Number three, old habits, right? My identity. The way that I was, would spend time or manage my time, or the time you'd wake up or the time you go to sleep, or, just your habits, distractions that you would allow in your life, right? And so I had to work on creating new positive habits. Number four, old belief systems. This typically stems from a person not willing to personally develop. There are people that just believe that personal development is natural, that you're just naturally going to get better. Growth is not automatic, as John Maxwell says. So had to start reading books and coaching, getting other people, knowing what area they need. And this is a great book you can read on this area. So if it's a person that needs to work on their work ethic, here's a book. Their people skills, here's a book. Their commitment, here's a book. Their long-term thinking, here's a book. So what book can you recommend for people that you're coaching to help their belief system? Number five, bad attitude, right? This typically stems from a person that lacks gratitude for life, lacks gratitude for people, typically very self-centered. It's all about me. And you have to mature in life. I've had to mature, from being it's about George to, man, it's about other people, right? And when you start to do that, right, you start to become a leader. One of the things that has to change is your attitude, and how you work on that. And maybe it's a morning routine on affirmations. Maybe it's a gratitude list, right? For me, my affirmations became a gratitude list of this is what I'm grateful for. Sometimes it's perspective, right? People need help putting things in perspective. So bad attitude was one. Number six, inconsistency. Anybody can have a good day. Very few people can have a good week. Even fewer can have a good month, good quarter. Majority of people can't have a good 6 months, and very, very, very few people can go 365 days of giving their absolute very best. It's very, very uncommon, right? And everybody, nobody, by the way, has a 10 for 365 days, which means like every single day was a 10. The most successful people just have a better, worse day than the unsuccessful people. And so inconsistency. Number seven, poor skills, right? People that are, we teach people how to go present life insurance and retirement products to people. And there's so many people that will not work on their product knowledge. They will not work on their presentation skills. And they keep going out there and like, man, I'm working really hard. And they're working at, let's say, a 7, but their skill is a 1. right? So they're not getting much out of themselves, right? Let's say their skill set would go up a 5. Now they just went from 7 to 35. So very important to work on skills. Number 8, lack of a clear dream or vision. When a person doesn't have clarity of what they want, they get lost along the way. They get distracted along the way. They see all the obstacles, all the problems. When a person knows exactly what they want, yeah, they're going to have some tough days. It's normal. They're not going to have a 10 every single day. But even on those days, they still show up because they know what they want. Number 9, poor associations. Many of my guys that are trying to change their life keep hanging out with the same people. And the problem is that your associations become, right, who you are. They shape the way you think. They shape the way you act. They shape the way that you work out. They shape the way that you look at faith. They shape the way that you spend money. They shape the way that you look at the world. They shape the way that you interact with other people. You are learning so many things from the people that are around you. And if you're not around people that are positive, you may be around people that are neutral or negative. And so having the right associations. Let me give you the last 2 points. Number 10, feel bad for themselves. There are people when they're going through challenges, right? They feel like, man, this is too tough. I can't do this. Why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? They feel bad for themselves. They feel, we use victimness, right? Victimhoodness. I feel like a victim, like life is happening to me. Why me? And that does not help them because you lose complete control that you have the power to change that situation and take a positive step. And the last one, number 11, they allow others to affect their mentality. They allow others to affect their mentality. They don't change the environment changes them. And the right people, when they make that decision that, hey, I'm going to be a leader, they start to understand that they are able to influence people, influence environment, change other people. Those that are willing to be changed, those that want to change will change. And those that don't, it may not be their time. Maybe they're willing to change later. Maybe it's a personal issue that they're going through. Maybe they don't want it bad enough. But we can't save everybody, but we can be a great example and continue to invest in other people. So if any of these you relate to, an area for you to work on, and if you're coaching people, an area for you to teach your team on, hope it added some value to you. Subscribe, give it a thumbs up, guys. We'll see you on the next video. Take care.